all set up.
We're all
Good
set.
to go.
Good to go.
All right. So I'm still working on the introductions for the videos and the podcast.
Introductions are so fucking awkward, so
I
it's
know,
okay.
I know. I used to do a recording like today on the podcast I have so and so, but now I'm just going straight into it. Like this is the intro.
This is the intro.
So welcome to the show. Today's guest. today's guest. I want to make sure I say your last name right, but Lizz Hader.
Lizz Hader.
Okay.
Yes.
Welcome to the show, Liz.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me in your building. That kind of smells like a homeless shelter, but also really nice at the same time.
It's the nicest homeless shelter you'll find.
It really is. It charges almost what I pay for my rent. And it's okay, though.
Yeah, it's nice, though. Maybe I'll give a tour to you guys one day. A bunch of comics live here.
Really?
Yeah. I won't say no names because I don't want to.
Oh yeah, I don't even want to know where everyone lives. Yeah.
Well, I guess I can beep it out.
That makes sense because
actually, I will say the names, then I'll beep it out because I've never had to beep out anything yet.
So you want to use the bleep? Use the bleep.
No, yeah. Lives here.
Yeah.
Lives here.
Okay.
That's it.
That makes sense. Yeah, they seem yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I have something to beep out now. Welcome to the show. You do comedy.
Where you guys live. Okay.
Damn, maybe I shouldn't have said it to you.
No, I like both those people.
Yeah, they're cool people. But yeah, they're in the pool sometimes. I haven't been to the pool yet. But anyway, okay, let me focus.
Let's refocus.
Yeah. All right. So welcome to the show. You do comedy.
I do comedy, kind of.
No, we all do kind of comedy. Until like we're pros, like the names I mentioned earlier, where they're touring all the time, and that's it. That's really what they do.
Yeah, well, you're getting really paid for it. Like you can pay your rent with it. You're really not doing it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the people who live here, we follow them, and they're always like, I'm in this town. I feel like, do you guys even live here? Like,
yeah.
Or you guys just visit here once a month?
You just sleep here, like on Tuesdays, and then
just a layover. So that's pretty cool. And that's actually the topic for you today as a guest. Yes. So we'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
First, I'd like to do the introductory bit. So I want to hear your origin story. Like, what made you get into comedy?
What made me get into comedy? I mean, isn't everyone when it's like depression? Is that everyone's answer? Like, if your answer isn't that, you're probably not funny. I was in school. I went to school for electrical engineering, which is like the most yet least interesting thing about me. And then it was really tough. I was like failing my classes. I had a situation happen like when I was like 20 years old, and it just got really miserable. I couldn't figure out why I was going to school for that. I just wanted money. I didn't have a meaning to wake up every day. I was teaching a freshman college class, and I was teaching them how to program Arduinos, which are like little programmable boards that you learn how to code with.
I'm glad you explained that. The audience might have not known that.
An Arduino? Yeah, no, everyone knows.
I didn't know
or like a Raspberry Pi.
Okay, so some small circuit board.
Yeah,
okay,
so cool. They're like small circuit boards. Teach kids how to program them. Then they're like, oh my God, I never want to do this. And you're like, yeah, it's okay.
I did at school, because I used to be in computer science more heavily. I did a little program, for a little robot, just to make it, like the project was to make it go forward 10 steps, make it right 10 steps. I thought it was kind of cool, but that was simple. I just told it, go forward.
Yeah, it was cool it was like, oh yeah, this is like step one of what you can do.
And then they get
with
to
computers. Your level. And so I've done some cool robots and stuff, but so I would teach kids about that, and during my classes I would like crack jokes every now and then, and it became like my form of communication with people was to break the awkwardness. I can say something funny or sarcastic, and you break that tension and you earn their trust. And then I got an internship in Los Angeles, and I was working out there, paying like $1,200 a month for like a bedroom like this size. So like, what is this, like 200 square feet?
That's my apartment here.
Yeah, I got like a 200 square feet. I had like they gave me a toaster and a microwave.
Oh, that's nice.
I had to like go to the laundromat and do laundry. But living in Los Angeles for that summer was really cool. And then while I was there, I was like, you know what, I want to go to the Comedy Store. And so I drove from North Hollywood to West Hollywood. So you have to drive through these hills, and my little Honda Civic was crying through it. And I saw some comedians I was like a really big fan of, and then I was like, you know what, like that looks like those I can see like the pain in their eyes, like for every comedian, and like, I was like, I feel that pain, and
smile through the pain.
Then one day I was like, you know what, I want to try it out. Like I like when people listen to me talk. I hopped on to I found the Facebook group, the Notorious Facebook group that we're all in, and I messaged the person, the curator of that, who is, you know, bleepity bleep Alex.
Cool. One more name to bleep out.
Yeah. I forgot. I actually doesn't even use his last name, Alex, just Alex. I can say that. And I was like, I want to go, but like I'm terrified of bars. So what can I was 21 or 22. And he's like, there's an angel that hosts a mic at Noreen's. You should go to that one. And I was like, okay. So I ended up there, and then I've been in the cult ever since.
All right. Awesome. Okay. So you basically just went to it showing like, this is great. They're suffering like me. Let me do this.
Yeah.
Who was there that night? Do you remember?
Yes, I do remember. I went to go see Taylor Tomlinson.
I like her. I like her comedy.
I love her. Now doing comedy, I don't watch her because I'm scared I would sound like her. So it sucks. I haven't been able to like enjoy her comedy lately because it just makes me sad. Like I should be doing that.
I know what you're saying. Like, 'cause I'm a huge fan of Nate Bargatze right now. Like I feel his style and his voice and everything. Like, wait a minute, that sounds like me. Like when I'm normal. Like, and I feel this. Like I don't want to be him.
Yeah.
But I feel like my style is similar to him. But I get what you're saying. I don't want to. Yeah, everyone still has their own bit of individuality. So I don't want to conform too much. So.
I get that. And then it was stupid. Like 3 days later, I was getting food at Whole Foods, and I saw her, and I said hi to her, and I was like, I loved your show, and I was like, you're doing amazing. I wish the best for you. And she's like, oh, thank you so much. And she was so nice. And that's kind of the end of that story. But I took that as like a sign. I was like, that means I should do it. Yeah. It was this dumb like mantra sign. Like I think I should do this.
That's awesome, Taylor. If you ever watch this,
if she ever,
your paths are meant to cross now again.
She's awesome. And so and then like I didn't do great at all those first couple of times. Like I was just kind of saying sad things about my life, and then one day I did like okay, and then I was like, okay, this isn't too bad. Like I'm welcome here and it feels good. I don't feel like anybody's gonna roofie me. So I'm really glad I started.
That's good. And in Noreen's is not an easy place to start either.
Really?
I feel like no, especially depending on what time you go.
Oh yeah, true.
If you go up late and it's your first time and there's one person in the crowd.
Yeah.
And especially how I felt like you're trying something, so you're scared, you're nervous, and there's no one listening.
Yeah.
And then you don't have practice, you don't have that. Like eventually at some point you can do your act with no one paying attention because you're just comfortable with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Noreen's can be a little rough, like if you're up late.
That's true. Yeah. See, I always got there early to make sure I'd get on the list early.
Anyone new in town listening, if you want to go to Noreen's, sign up at 7 a.m. I think that's early enough.
Yeah. Well, then I also got like I'd be like, hey, you have like 50 straight white males on that list. Can I squeeze in? Can I have girl privilege? And they'd give it to me. And so. Oh,
I should do that. Like, hey, you got 50 straight white males. Can a brown guy get in? Should try that.
So yeah, I'm really glad. And that community, the section of that community has been very welcoming, very nice. I've made some really good friends there. Like, of course, there's all the other shit that goes with it. And that's what everyone warned me is people are shitty. And I'm like, yeah, but I've met really good people too. Yeah. So
same here. It's nice when because like you said, a lot of us, I guess when we started or at some point, we were depressed, and comedy's it's one of the best medicines, and I think that makes everything a little easier to get to know someone, because you're like, oh, you're in pain too.
Have you ever seen the movie? Okay, there's the movie Hereditary, and then there's Midsummer. Have you seen Midsummer?
I don't think I've seen Midsummer.
Did you see Hereditary?
Is that the horror one?
Hereditary is like a very drastic thing happens to a little girl.
Yep, I've seen that one. Yep.
Yeah, like everything's cool, and then her head falls off. Like,
I'm not sure how that relates to the topic.
Okay, but
can you go into detail?
In Midsummer, there's so it's about this girl. She goes on a trip with her boyfriend, who she's already having issues with, and you can totally tell like he doesn't love her anymore, and so they go to this Swedish family party, like celebration festival in Sweden. Like it's the boys' vacation, and she tagged along, and everyone was like, don't bring her. Her parents die at the beginning, so it's like, don't bring her, like, come on. Yeah, that's why. And then she's like, I want to go, and he couldn't say no because like her parents just died. And then something happens, and she's crying, and then all these other women come up to her and just start crying with her, like screaming. And I was like, I remember when that came out, I was like, that's what comedy feels like. It's just like we're all just screaming and crying with each other, but it builds this bond of like we're all here in pain too, and we're all here for you. So
like they say, like I forget how the saying goes, but something about like being at your lowest, and that's when like your real friends show up. But then comedy's like everyone's at their lowest, whether real friends or not. Like you just said, we just show up. Like someone else is crying, let me cry with them. We don't actually cry though. Not at the shows.
I'm like, I have this like thing of don't cry at work, unless like there's some jobs I can see people crying at work, but like my number one rule is don't cry at work and don't cry in front of people.
That's a good rule.
Like I won't cry unless like someone's knows me very, very well. I will not cry.
I think that's a pretty good rule.
Yeah.
People don't, especially like you said, if you don't know someone, then they're crying. You're like, I'm not a group of girls, but let me go find some for you to. There's a girl crying over here.
It's awkward, and
like someone do something.
Yeah, I would never like yell at someone in public. Like even if like someone's yelling at their kid, it's awkward.
It is. It's very awkward. It's so much stuff that I don't know, like situations that you don't ever want to be in that you can find yourself in sometimes. Like you said, seeing someone crying in public. Like I've seen that. And then I don't want to be a shitty person and just like ignore them, because obviously they're hurting, but I also don't want to be like, do you need a hug to a stranger?
Yeah, it's like I don't really know you, but like you need a hug, you need someone. Don't ask me for money, but do you need something?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's cool. All right. I'm thinking about that now. Okay, all right. But all right, so let's continue to the next question.
What's your next question?
The next in the get to know you section is about your first time doing stand-up.
My first time doing stand-up?
So was that Noreen's?
It wasn't Noreen's. I really don't remember it very well. I just remember I was like, let me write like a minute of jokes. And I like wrote like something about like all the guys that I could like remember that I dated. And I got like one laugh and was like, cool, I can do this.
Hey, that's all it takes, right? One laugh. Like,
and so, and then I got off and I was like, that was bad. And they're like, yeah, but it's okay. You did it. That's the hardest part. And I'm like, okay.
That's true. Okay. Yeah, I mean, at least they're honest with you. Like, yeah, that was horrible. But hey, good job. A for effort.
Yeah. And so, I took it with a grain of salt, and I didn't feel embarrassed. I felt very like, you know what, like other people have been doing this for like months and they didn't get any laughs, so I feel okay. Like and that's a bad way to think, but I don't know. I felt comfortable with it.
Yeah.
So. And
then that's like I say, that's the thing with Noreen's, especially if you go up late. It's I guess it's like a comics mic. There's not that many people there for the comedy other than the comics.
Yeah, and the bartender. Yeah.
So at the beginning there's people, so yeah, it can be difficult in your first time, but you got one laugh, so that's good. It would suck if like I did that my first time and like no laughs, and it's like,
And there are these two random women there from like Tennessee. Like they just popped up there and they're like, "You're so adorable. Like you should keep doing this. Like it's okay. That sucked. It's okay. It's gonna suck for a while." And I was like, "That's true. Okay." So
that was your Midsummer girls. They like, we sense it. Some new girl's gonna do comedy. We need to be there for her. And look at you now. So when did you start though? When did
I start? I believe that was in October of 2019. So I did comedy for like 3.5 months, and then October, so like November, December, January, and a little bit of February. Yeah, 3.5 months, and then we all got, took a long pause. We all took a break by force.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. I didn't know you were that new to comedy.
Oh yeah, super new.
I remember one time I saw you. What was that Tuesday mic? I forget the name.
It was Rebar.
Rebar, yeah.
Yeah.
And you did pretty well. I thought you'd been doing it longer than.
No, yeah.
I mean, I'm guessing now that was like a couple weeks. I thought you did pretty well. So.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah. I hate that. That was my least favorite mic. That was the hardest one for me.
What, really?
It was Rebar.
Why?
Yeah. I don't know why. Just being outdoors. I think because I'm a very low energy comedian, and being outdoors, like you need to be like, "Hey guys, what's up? How you guys feeling?" And I'm just like, "Let's talk about death."
Yeah, I totally get that because I'm not on stage. I'm not very high energy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to like put a little bit in, but naturally I just want to like stand there and just talk.
I can force myself to do it if I'm hosting, but I'm so uncomfortable when I'm doing it, so it shows.
Wow, that's surprising though, because Rebar it draws a crowd. Yeah. It draws a good crowd of people along with comics. So it's surprising that I don't know. Like I thought you would feel better, like because obviously if the crowd is laughing, it boosts your energy.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Surprising to hear that was one of your tougher mics.
Yeah, it's 3.5 months. And then we were talking about depression earlier, so let's keep the depression thing going. I finished school, and then like I got a really awesome job, and then I like moved out of my family's house, and I made really good friends, and I was like, I'm not depressed anymore.
I was about to say, you want to keep talking about depression, but now you're just flexing.
Yeah. I was like, but like I went through this guilt of like, I'm not depressed anymore. Can I still be funny? And so then I started talking to like comedians who like have less depression, I guess. And, I just kept thinking, can I still like write good stuff if I'm not depressed? Like, of course I still get sad about stuff, and I still deal with depression on and off. But that was my big concern, was because I'm actually in a good place, will I not be funny anymore?
I think you can, because you know what they say, comedy is just tragedy plus time. So once you heal, now you can joke about that painful stuff in the past.
All the trauma, yeah.
So I don't think you need to be depressed, like you're saying, because now you can be like, remember that time I was depressed?
I'm kind of been like milking off of it for the past time, and so.
Exactly. I mean, if you want to be depressed, you know what to do. Just go live on the street a little bit. Just push the depression onto yourself.
Yeah, and so, but. I started again like recently because I went back on stage, and then I was like, that went okay, and then I just wanted to write new stuff because I couldn't relate to all my old jokes, and so I started writing again, and then now like this past week I got back and was doing it, and it's felt good, so yeah,
that's good to hear. So what because I want to like, I'm trying to think like if I remember any of your old jokes. You did really good at Taco Dive Bar this past time.
Really? I felt like that one was really bad. Like I know like my end jokes hit, but like the beginning I feel like I didn't get like anything, but
I don't tend to laugh very much. Like I chuckle a little like, that's if it's something super hilarious, I'll laugh out loud. Yeah. But my friends have been going to Taco Dive Bar. She's vegan now. Yeah. So she likes that there's a place now she can eat. So she's been going every Wednesday. Yeah, she said you were funny. She's like, I love that girl.
That's awesome.
So I'm glad the break, and I'm glad the writing has been, and the lack of depression has not, held you back. Is the word? Handicapped you? I don't know.
I don't know, yeah, held me back, and so, or like stopped me. I almost got into like doing like set design for films and stuff, and so I almost was like, maybe I should quit comedy and do this. And then I took like a good 2 weeks and really thought about which one I wanted to do. And
which one did you decide?
So I chose comedy.
I don't know. This might be your side hustle.
And then like writing and stuff. I don't have time for that. I still work 40 hours a week, which is painful. But yeah, so far so good, you know.
Well, all right. Well, hopefully you made the right choice. I don't know. You could have designed a new set for a comedy special. do the 2-in-1. Like, yeah, I'll design your set for a guest spot, you know.
Yeah, I wanted to do, I don't know, I got it really into art and color and design, and so like places like this use a designer. People listening don't know what this place looks like, but like in here nice. It's beautiful. It smells disgusting, but
I'm gonna let them know. I think I
don't live here. I'm gonna let them know. Like,
yeah, you let them. Like, I was there over the weekend. I was not interested in the building, but I just want to let you know.
I've been in barn houses that have smelled better than this.
Damn, I didn't. Damn, I'm
not trying to shit on you. Like I'm sure your place is really nice, and I think it's cool that you live here. I'm just bagging on the company that owns this building.
Like, well, I'm thinking, like, did I get accustomed to this nasty smell?
Does your water work?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm also very sensitive to smells.
I'm not. So okay, that could be. I do know when they shampooed the carpets like 1 or 2 weeks ago. I remember that.
Okay.
So we try. In their defense, they try.
There's someone's specific job is to get this smell out of here. They're not getting paid enough. I don't know.
I'm not. But that's cool. All right, that's cool. Nice to get to know you section. I got to work on my transitions too.
It's like, okay. Yeah.
So 18 episodes in. It's
That's pretty good. You've been consistent. That's the hardest part.
That is the hardest part. You're going to have a podcast soon, hopefully.
I'm rebooting my podcast. Rebooting it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Rebooting. What networks are going to be on now?
What networks? Yeah. I'm uploading to the Spotify.
The Spotify network.
I'm uploading to the SoundCloud. I'm saying it like I'm 50. The Spotify.
Yeah, you know,
the Facebook.
The thingy.
Oh, the Facebook too. Yeah. Facebook too, since like all the people that actually pay attention to me are on there.
You know what? I post like, hey, new episode on Facebook.
Yeah.
I never thought of actually hosting the episodes there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good idea. But yeah, hopefully your podcast reboots soon.
Mm-hmm.
And then love to be a guest on there sometime. Hopefully I have something interesting to talk about.
We'll find you something to talk about, yeah.
We can talk about my apartment, like the update. How's the apartment update going? We cleaned one hallway.
We'll figure it out. I'm creative.
Awesome. All right. Now for like the main, the meat and potatoes of the podcast.
Get into the meat, yeah.
So now that we know your history on comedy.
My history.
Here's like the gist of the podcast that you're aware of, but we'll cover it again. It's for anyone who's new to comedy or doing comedy, or just, I don't know, some tips or advice or somewhere to relate. Like, I didn't know anything.
Mm-hmm.
We cover some topics that have benefited me because I'm like, that's a good idea. I should do that.
Yeah.
Yours in particular is you recently graduated college.
Okay, yeah, I did. I finished college. I can't believe it.
Yes. And then there's a lot of comics, professional, who graduated from college and then went into comedy. Just as many dropped out and decided to do comedy.
Mm-hmm.
But in you in particular, you finished comedy, or you finished college. You were doing comedy. Yes, you graduated.
I graduated in comedy. Yes. No. But yeah, I finished school.
Yeah. And then you were doing some comedy during the pandemic. Obviously
I popped in every now and then.
Right. So the big thing is, like, how did that affect especially in the beginning, like, how did you, like, I don't even know, like, your thoughts, like, I'm in college, should I do stand up? Like,
oh yeah. I don't tell my coworkers or like people I went to school with that I do this, comedy and stuff. Yeah. I will like add them on Instagram, and then like 3 days later I'll delete them and then block them because I like posting my stuff. But so I guess so what was the question?
Well, that was the question. That itself is a question. Like, is like how did the pandemic affect my, like, what I wanted to do with my life, I guess? No. It was more like being a student and doing comedy. Like,
Like dude, it was awful. Oh my god.
Yeah,
that's being a student and so that I would really only go to Mike's on Sunday. Like I remember it was tough because I had to study all the time. Like I was in a very hard major.
Yeah, you
and
weren't,
so like it was very. I didn't work very much, which really helped. So but I would have to like schedule my whole week, and I'd have to schedule comedy in it. I remember my first show that I did was in January, and it was an all-girls show, one of those.
Yeah,
but
I mean, you even had your own show.
Yeah, I even hosted my own show. That I don't know how the hell I did that in the middle of it. But I guess to wrap it up is I just made the time for it. I just scheduled it in. Yeah. But it did break my focus a lot. Like I definitely was focused on school more, except for some cases. But it didn't. It was just like a side thing of like, this is like the time instead of going to hang out with my friends and my also significant other at the time was at the mics. And so I'd pop in, I'd do my set, and then I'd be like, I got shit to do, I'm gonna go. Yeah,
and then that's the thing. Like you said, you had a engineering class, so you had hard math to do.
Oh yeah,
it's not
took just a flex. I took calculus. I took up to calculus 3. I took differential equations. I took complex analysis, which uses imaginary numbers.
So you weren't just doing math with regular numbers. You're like, I'm gonna make up some numbers and do math. That's intense.
Yes, because that's what imaginary numbers are.
I think so.
They're made up.
I want to believe so because I have no idea what you're talking about. I know there's negative I,
and then negative I squared, which equals 1.
What are the?
We don't have to talk about math.
Because now my brain.
This isn't a science podcast. I just wanted to flex.
Good job. Me and all the viewers are like, I don't like this person. She's too smart for this podcast. But that's the thing. You were in school for something very difficult, and then you were starting out comedy. And then, like I said, I thought you'd been doing this for comedy for a lot longer than just a few months. You had your own show that you put together.
Yeah, I think what really helped though with being in school and having that normalcy, like I didn't sound like everyone else, and I also didn't sound like maybe someone, no offense to anyone like this, just like maybe a girl who's in like school for like political science and works at Sephora. I didn't sound like her. No. Like our comedy would be very different. And so it gave me kind of a different world to like grow in and a different perspective of the way I looked at life. And then I was like, that gives me a different voice that like, Yeah,
you definitely want to stand out. Mm-hmm. And yeah, you did that. But like, did you ever think about like maybe I should just drop out of college, do comedy?
No, not at all. I was like, I can do both. I don't have to be. And I hated this thing of you have to be like one dimensional. Like you can't be a nerd and an artist. You can't you can't be an actor and also be a scientist. Like all these things, you can only choose one. I was like, you know what? I can go to school, get my degree so I can get a good job, so I can make a living wage, and not have to be a waitress. I can still work 40 hours and make decent traction throughout whatever I wanted to do in the entertainment business. Mm-hmm. And of course it's tiring, it's exhausting, it's not easy, but at the end of the day, I can pay my bills and I can still do something I really care about.
Right. And then, so what, like, depending on how things go, would comedy be like the end goal, or would you still always want to do your engineering and comedy just be a hobby, something that relaxes you?
I've always settled that like, even if comedy is just a weekend thing, I'm okay with it. I mean, obviously, like, if my favorite comedian, which I couldn't even say who my favorite comedian is right now, but if there was, like, a big comedian, they're like, hey, you rock, go on tour with me next week, I'd be like, yeah, F my job, I'm going.
So if Taylor was like, yo, Liz.
Yeah, you're my opener, I'd be like, let's fucking go, my bags are packed.
It's a Whole Foods tour.
But, in my job, like I like my job, I'm happy with what I do, but I need the art in it too. Mm-hmm. Of course, like making it and being a writer, which is the number one thing I want to do. Like for example, have you watched New Girl?
Love that show.
Yes, I would. That would be my dream job, is to write for a show like New Girl, like something like New Girl or How I Met Your Mother. Or
I love How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah, exactly. So if it's like script writing for that and making like a good dialogue script, like I've been going through screenplay books and reading about writing screenplay. I've studied the scripts of shows I've really liked. I've written with other people and really gotten to know how good dialogue flows. And so that's what I've been focusing on more, is writing, of course. But I'll never stop stand up. Like I'll take breaks every now and then, but it's like it's very close to my number one love of writing, but it's right below it.
Gotcha. I feel the same way, and I mentioned to you earlier, because you told me how you were writing, you want to write, you've done some writing, and I mean, I love comedy. It's fun. It's nice. I don't ever see myself ever really making it huge, big, where I have specials and stuff like that. But that's also not like my main focus. Mine is actually to be a writer for movies or for shows too.
You know, people are gonna shit on us for this, for like for us doing like comedy. It's like, no, I still like it. I still love it. I'm still in the game just as much as you are. I mean, like, but it's not fulfilling enough for me. At the end of the day, I'm like, I can do way more.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's not fulfilling. Like, it's great being on the show and stuff, but it's not what I'm looking for. Like, I much rather just write. Like I said, I'm daydreaming a bunch of the times. I'm just thinking dialogue and stuff, and then I'm like, dang, that'd be a good show. So yeah, if anyone wants to hate, just hate Liz.
Just hate me.
Yeah. But no, that's interesting you said that, because we should write together. Because I told you I am writing a movie. I can't talk about it. It's my partner.
Don't talk about it. Yeah, keep it locked up.
Yeah, I won't even
Good
say
things take time.
It's been taking too much time, but that's awesome that you have a roadmap. You have your career, like, this is gonna keep me alive. You have your comedy, is like, this is what keeps me sane. And then you have your goal, like, I want to be a writer. So it's very detailed. The fact that you were going to school and doing comedy and you had a schedule and you stuck to it, pretty impressive.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But you also work 40 hours a week, and I think kind of.
I'm scheduled for 40, but
okay, yeah, I know. Yeah. But like you still work a full-time job and you make it to mics, and it's not easy.
It's not, and I don't have the same control as you do. Like, you're like, I pop in, I pop out. I'm more like, I pop in, and then I'm like, I like it here, I'm gonna stay here, and then I stay too long, and then the next day I'm paying for that work.
See, like, for me to like have a meaningful time with people, all I need is 15 minutes, and 15 minutes, that's all I need to see you, connect with you, and then I get the fuck out. So like, people who are meaningful in my life and are also at comedy shows, like, I talk to them, I say what's up. Sometimes we'll go get like dinner or something together, but hanging around too much kind of I like, but I don't love.
Yeah, I do like the atmosphere sometimes there, you know, every now and then.
Oh, like, it's great. Yeah, especially, you know, Uncle Ian, I call him.
Yeah,
Uncle Ian really sets them shows up.
Yeah, eventually I would like to have Ian on here too. Then you guys can meet him. He does a lot of shows. I would love to have like a lot of the producers here, because it's surprising what people do off hours from comedy.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I know Dennis, who Happy Earth. It never occurred to me like what he does outside of Happy Earth.
You know, yeah, exactly.
Until we started recording one of the sketches.
I was like, wow, you work a corporate job. Yeah, you're like me.
You work here. You do this for cell phones. Like, I just never, like, in my head, if someone asked me like, what does he do, I would just think, I don't know, hangs out at Happy Earth.
I don't know, he works at like Costco. I don't know. That's what I would guess.
Yeah, so it's interesting, and I'm glad you came to talk about this. I don't know.
You can pay your bills, and you can also do comedy.
Go to school full time.
You don't have to. You can go to school. You can do whatever you want to do, and you can still do it. And if like you really organize your time, you really set your mind to it, like, you're gonna lose a little bit of sleep, but it can happen. You know.
You'll make up for it. So you earlier mentioned though that you thought about like if college was what you wanted to do.
Oh, if college was what I wanted to do.
Or your degree in general.
You know, like, if I really, really was committed to my passion. Like if I was super passionate about it, like some people are that I know, I would have gone to get like my master's or my PhD and tried to get into, I started electrical engineering because I wanted to work on robotics, but then I noticed that every robotics company is military contracted, and that's terrifying. So I learned a lot about robots, AI, what else? I've learned about like the mechanical side of it, mechanical engineering, sensors. If I really liked it, I would focus on one subsection called controls. I don't even know how to explain what controls engineering is, but it pays a lot of money for any company that you work for. And there's a lot of NASA controls engineers. So I probably, if I really wanted to go for it, I would go, I hope my boss doesn't see this. If I really wanted to go for this, I would, like apply for NASA or apply for Lockheed Martin or apply for like any of those space companies and be like, we're fucking going to Mars.
So when you say like control engineering, like, is that like the people like in the movies were like, quick, get on the controls?
Okay, in a nutshell, this is what it is. Do you ever get on a treadmill? I don't mean that in a bad way, but do you ever get on a treadmill?
Which part did you not mean? Like the part that I won't get it, or the treadmill part?
Do you ever get on a treadmill? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. When you hit go to like 5 miles per hour, you expect it to go to 5 miles per hour, right?
Yeah.
What the computer wants to do is it wants to go to 25 miles per hour and then go to 5 miles per hour.
Why does the computer?
Because it has a motor. Because there's a motor running it.
Right.
So controls engineering is what balances out the system to say go to 5, don't go to 25, because motors want to shoot up and then go down.
So you're telling me, okay, so
someone's gonna comment on this, be like, "You're so wrong. This girl knows nothing." But that's the way someone explained it to me. So.
All right. So then to make sure, so basically the motor wants to do its own thing.
Yeah.
It wants to go 0 to 25. Mm-hmm. It doesn't want to go to 5.
And there's a middle. So between like the user control and the motor, there's a middle system saying, "Hey, these are the steps you're gonna take to get to right here."
Okay. All right. Okay. So basically, then I'm thinking of like a light switch. It's either on or off, and there's somebody who installs a dimmer to get it right where you want it.
Okay. Here's another example.
Nope, I was wrong.
Okay. For a robot. Like robots to calculate like their distance and stuff. So if I was a robot and you were like touch my shoulder, I could be like this really hard, or I feel like this. And so the controls engineer would control it and set all the functions for it to gently touch your shoulder. Sorry, that was awkward.
I'm gonna stick
like this awkward like.
I'm going to stick with my dimmer analogy.
Stick with your dimmer.
Because I think, to me, I get what you're saying, but I think that's how I can understand it.
Enough engineering. It's like, it's not my dream, maybe in like 5 years, if I want it to be, I'll still only be like 29. I can still chase my dream. So, if comedy doesn't work out and I want to go to graduate school, I could totally do that. But on the same other hand, if one day someone was like, "Hey, you want to do set here, and we're going to pay you the same amount as you're getting paid at your full-time job," I would be like, yeah. Unless my boss is listening to this, then.
Well, just pay her more then, dude. Just pay her more. Then she can't go to shows. Then to be like, well, we can't afford you. Like.
Yeah. So, yeah.
But it's nice, to have a backup or a safety net or whatever you want to call it. Something that you do, pays your bills, that still lets you chase the dream.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, that was cool then. I'm glad you didn't drop out of college then.
I'm so glad I didn't. Yeah, I thought about it, but like the main thing keeping me was like, what am I gonna do? Be a waitress?
We comedy.
Yeah, but then I'd have to be like a waitress or something in the middle, and that was like my biggest fear.
No offense to the waitress out there. Like,
no offense to the waitresses. Like, you rock. You're hot. I don't have boobs. I will not make money as a waitress.
I don't think you need them, waitress. We're not trying to sexualize you guys. Like, I don't. The lady.
I can.
She can. She can get away with it. I'm not. Yes, I support all you waitresses and waiters. Waiters too. They definitely. Well, I mean, they could have boobs, but point is. Yeah, I mean, no. I get what you're saying. Like, I thought about it too. Sometimes, like maybe, like like, how much do I want to do comedy? How much do I want to do writing? How much do I want to chase what I really love to do? And do I want to give this job this benefits? And then, because I've been doing Uber, I'm like, I can basically make what I make at work doing Ubering, and then make my own schedule, chase the dream. But do I want to?
Do you want to?
Yeah.
Is it worth the risk? See, for me, like, I worry about the time. I was like, is this worth my time? But at the end of the day, like, getting laughs at like a full bar is gonna feel the same as getting laughs at like the Comedy Store or the Comedy Cellar. Like, those laughs, like, no, there's no special people anywhere. You're just getting paid. And I feel like getting paid for it might like skew you a little. Like, I got paid for like one show and I thought they were gonna pay me like $20 and they paid me like $100. And like,
what show was this?
But like, if I had known that, they didn't tell me how much they were gonna pay me. But if I had known that, it was a private show that I did like last year. But if I had known that, then I would have been so nervous and I probably would have fucked it up. But like, that felt good. But then doing it under pressure of getting paid feels shitty sometimes.
Definitely. But if any private shows I'll do it for 50. No, pressure and you don't want to be stressed out. Like, like even like the open mic challenges, sometimes I stress me out a little bit.
Yeah, I haven't done one for that reason.
Well, I mean, the pop-up one, the taco dive bars, it seems to be.
That was during my break. Yeah.
So it's like, it's still a little stressful.
Yeah.
But practice makes perfect. But I thought exactly what you're saying. Like, maybe I should just quit and just chase comedy. But I like the safety net.
Yeah, of course. Like I remember someone told me, a very wise comic once told me, because he was going to school, and I think he's taking a break so he can do school. And he told me, you don't want to be like 40 and not being able to pay your bills. And I was like, whoa, that really struck a chord there. I always want to pay my bills. I've never had money. My family has always been like, you have what you need, barely, and there's nothing else you can really get. Like, so I worked since I was 16, and I've built up a savings since I was 16. I didn't have any student loans, thankfully. That's why I stayed in Las Vegas. And I was like, you know what, I just want to be able, if I want to get my own place and pay my bills, I want to be able to do that, and I want to be able to do it alone.
That's I think that's what pushes me also to not, because I'm married, so I have a wife, so obviously I'm always gonna have that roommate. But I know I cannot get along with people, like, because there's a difference. Like, when you have your own place, it's your place. You want to leave a dish out, leave it out. You want to clean it. But then having someone there and it's like, just go not watch that. I've lived
with like 2 of my boyfriends in the past, and even then I was always like, I don't think I'll ever live with someone. Like, if I get married to someone, I'd be like, cool, we can get married, but like, I need to have like my own place still. Yeah. I'm gonna have my own apartment.
You live across the street, okay?
Let's go like 2 houses, and I have one, and I can lock you out. Like,
it's like, you gotta go home, babe. Okay, go home.
So yeah.
I don't want to be 40 and not being able to pay my bills either.
Exactly.
And that's was another comic who's been on the show. You told me too. Like, when I told him, like, I mentioned, like, I think I can just quit and do this. And then I almost kind of did. But he's like, look, if you can make what you're making now and pay your bills, go for it. And then I was like, and that's when I'm like, I could, but it's not a guarantee. Like, Uber and it's good extra money right now. It helps me pay down some of debt. But there's some weeks where I don't drive. Yeah. Because I'm going to mics, or I'm going to, maybe I got a trip or something. And then that kind of also made me realize, no, I need to stick to my day job.
Yeah. My job pays really well. I never did drugs. So like, I don't do drugs. I don't do anything.
Are you saying you can afford drugs with your job? Is that what you're saying? Like,
no, that's. So I mean, like, technically I could, but like, I never would purchase anything. Yeah, I don't do drugs, and like, you can't do drugs. So a lot of people I was like, oh, that sucks. I'm like, I don't care. Yeah. Like, the second I turned 21, I was like, what's the point of smoking weed? I love alcohol. I drink like once a month, and I'll get like wine drunk. But
oh, that's the best drunk.
Yeah, I've never really had an interest in smoking weed. It's just not my thing. I get why people do. Life is hard. Like, give yourself therapy however you need to. If that's what calms you down and makes you feel better, I understand pain, so I 100% understand it. But personally, for me, it doesn't, because I always have to. I like to move around. I'm very, very agitated all the time, and so
I don't like weed. And there's errors like a few times where I'm like, you know what, I'll do a hit, and then I'm like, this was a mistake. The paranoia hits me so hard, even because I have a bit about that, and like I took little baby hits, 2-3 hits, and then I don't know what it's like to get super high.
Yeah.
But from those 2-3 hits I did, I feel like that was super high to me, and I was just, I don't want to do this.
No, yeah. I don't even drink. I drink like maybe like once a month with like if my coworkers or friends have a party. Like, it's nice, but
just a little social events.
I'm also very healthy, so I don't like whenever I do drink. Like, I feel like my jeans are tighter if I just like drink one beer. So. Yeah, I don't know. I'm very cautious of that, I guess. So
I mean, it's good to be healthy, you know. Lizz Hader, the good comic, got a job, healthy, backup plans.
Trust me, I have a lot of shit that's going on too. Or like that on the outside, like everything looks okay, and like I have my life together in some sense, but I also worked very, 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 very hard to have all the things that I have. Like I don't have anything from my parents. My grandma pays my phone bill, and that's it. That's the only help I get. She pays we have a senior plan.
Oh, okay.
So it's $50 a month. She just pays it. And so that's the only help I get.
Okay. No, I got to take advantage of senior discounts. Yeah. But that's good that you have, you have everything and you're independent, and you can chase this dream. How long do you ever think like maybe you'll give up on the comedy or the writing?
If I got to a point where I'm like, I've had enough, like I've enjoyed it, I probably will go to graduate school, and I will go chase my dream of what I want to do as an engineer, because like I always think about that, like I want to take advantage of the fact that I am a little younger, I guess, in comedy, which so I kind of want to. It's like I can do either way. If I wanted to chase my dream of being an engineer, I could do that right now. If I wanted to chase my dream of being an entertainment business, because it is a business and it's a tough business, I can definitely do that, and I feel like I have the work ethic to do both.
Definitely. I mean, if you can, like, if you were going to school and doing this, and you had a show you were producing, and I'm assuming that was not easy. So booking people, finding a venue, scheduling everything, ticket sales, like.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how you managed to do it.
I don't know how I managed to do that. I remember I had to schedule that little by little by little. I scheduled that like so in advance. It was the Halloween show. Did you go to that?
I didn't make it.
You didn't make it? Okay, because I could have sworn I saw you there.
Halloween.
But I'm confusing you for someone else.
What? Like I was in.
There was another.
I was in Colorado, and then some dude was like, "I seen you like." No, you have? I don't think so. Like, yeah, don't you remember we met? Like, I don't know.
Oh my God, that's what it's like to be a girl at a bar. I remember you from something, and I'm like, no, you haven't. You're just making this up.
Then he was trying to show me who it was, and he couldn't find it. He's like, no, I met you in New Mexico. I'm like, dude, I've never done stand-up in New Mexico. He's like, no, you sure? And then it happened again to me. When we went to Phoenix, and then someone else was like, no.
Yeah, I get that. I know some people are like, oh, I've seen you somewhere before, and sometimes I just mess with them. I'm like, I just moved here like a week ago. You didn't.
So people legitimately recognize you, and you're just messing with them then?
No. Like, maybe not. I don't know. I usually don't believe, because someone once told me they like used, oh, we met somewhere before, I just can't remember where. And I was like, oh, maybe. And then later on, they were like, that was bullshit. I'd never seen you before in my life. And so I don't trust people at all now when they're like, I've seen you somewhere before.
You know what? Maybe I'll just be like, yeah, you know what? I do remember. You ran out on your tab, and you owe me.
You owe me like $20.
It's like, I don't remember that. Yeah, because you ran off.
Yeah. So
Are you gonna do your show again? Are you gonna bring it back up now that you have?
I was going to do another show actually this weekend. Would have been last night, but the person. So I had someone's backyard. This guy. Okay. I remember I put on a show like, hey, does anyone have like a backyard I can like host a comedy show at? Like I'll pay you. And then someone connected me with someone else. He likes to sell his art, so he likes having parties, so people will buy his art. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, can I have a comedy show? He has a stage set up in his backyard. He has a pool. And I was like, I want to do a Halloween show. And he's like, yeah, sure. And then I was just, it was the middle of the pandemic. Nobody was doing anything. I was like, does anybody want to be on a comedy show? And everyone was like, me. And so I just was like, fuck it. If I want to be on stage, I'll put me and my friends on stage. Yeah. And it was so much fun. It was like the best show. It wasn't the best show ever, but like, it was a really good time. It was more of like a party than a show. Yeah. But a COVID safe party. Everyone wore masks.
I want to offer up my dad's backyard right now. Yeah, if you want to do a show, let me know. Because now that I'm thinking about it,
don't just say this. Don't get my hopes up. Because I will like go home and plan this shit.
No, seriously. And my dad's pretty easygoing too.
Really?
As long as it's not.
Everyone's respectful and stuff. Yeah.
He's got a pool. We actually just during the pandemic we built a new shed for his pool.
Sweet
stuff.
Yeah.
So it's actually like the walls here.
Yeah.
There's concrete in front of it, so you can make a higher stage.
Yeah.
And there's grass, and you just put some stuff.
Let's
down.
fucking do it, Johnny. I can build a stage. I have outdoor stages. My friends build stages. So
damn, I want to build something too.
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right.
We're doing this.
Podcast is over.
We're doing summer.
We got shit to do now.
I'm gonna call it. I want to keep the blood theme going and call it the summer blood moon show.
I can dig it.
Yeah.
I can dig it. Okay. So first thing I gotta do is tell my dad and pick a date, because the only and I just offered him up, and he's really easygoing.
Like I said, you need to. This has to happen now.
Yeah, as long as it's not on his one of his big
Mr. Castillo, this is happening.
Yeah, as long as it's not one of his big soccer games, it's good to go.
Okay, not gonna interrupt his football.
Oh, this would be dope.
Okay. Anyways.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I gotta hang on. Let me focus because now my brain's.
So while you're thinking, I'm gonna talk. Like, you don't have to choose between your life being stable and doing comedy. Obviously, if your life is out of control and it's out of your control and has nothing to do with you, that's shit, and I understand that. But you can also get your life together and you can still be funny. You can pay your bills. Like maybe you're not gonna work the coolest job, but like, make money, pay your bills. It feels good.
Prioritize.
Like if I had to choose between like not like stressing about money and getting booked all the time versus vice versa, what I am now, like hell yeah, I would choose paying my bills every single time. Life is too fucking short.
Yeah, I like buying stuff. I always buy little things like $5-10 items that they add up. And that's my problem, because I like to buy little things, and I'm like, crap, how did I spend $300? All I did was buy that $2, $3. Oh yeah.
I'm still so cheap. Like I still like eat like top ramen and stuff. Like
I love food too.
So
I love food. I mean, half the reason, not even half, like 100% of the reason why I do Uber on the side, because I like to go out to eat. And and I like to I
don't even like going out to eat too much, because like I think about, because it's not really. Like, I do it only for time. Like, if I have the time to cook, I'm going to cook. And
that's, I think, my thing.
To, like, drive to Chinatown, eat, and then drive back home, it takes the same amount of time to go to the grocery store, and then he has to pee again.
It's like, oh, people looking like, what are they doing? Filming a podcast. No, I get what you're saying. My Grubhub, Postmates have been my enemy. I'm upset by this. I went on Uber Eats, whatever, for some tacos.
Yeah, and they fucked up your order.
No, they got the order right. Here's the problem.
What?
So obviously I'm gonna pay a little extra because they're delivering it.
Yeah.
I'm in peace with that. It's 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Cool. So it's like your order's gonna be like $25 for 3 tacos and something.
Can I guess how much you spent?
Go ahead.
$45 for tacos.
No.
Okay.
At the end of the next day, when I'm looking at the charges, because it tells you like it's gonna be blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool, I'm okay with that. The next day, I'm like $60.
You get $60 for tacos, and you like live in the prime location where all the Uber drivers live.
If I would have went there, I would have spent $10.
Yeah.
And okay, I'll pay $25, which is what it was said it was gonna be.
Oh yeah.
Like, cool, it's late, I don't feel like it, but $60. So I need to be more like you and just really just prioritize.
Yeah.
Focus on.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make your food. I make food like. My kitchen's not always clean, but you know what? I don't know.
I mean, if it's not clean,
save your money on food.
Yeah, if it's not clean because you're cooking.
Rule number 1: save money on food. Like if you have to eat like eggs, like for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, fucking eat eggs for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
And I love eggs too. Damn.
Eggs are so cheap. You can eat eggs for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So like you know.
Definitely. I'm
Life pro tips by Liz: eat eggs.
I'm reevaluating myself now. Like. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up here.
Let's wrap it up.
So final question. If you could go back in time and give yourself some kind of comedy advice of what to do or what not to do, like what would you tell yourself?
Okay, so first of all, if I could go back in time, I would kick myself in the face for ever starting comedy. But you know what? No one's ever given me this advice, but this is my advice. I hate everyone's like, get on stage as much as you can and you'll get better. If you get on stage 500 times, you'll be a pro by then. No, I've seen guys who've gotten on stage 500 times and they don't do it. It's complete silence. Like, no offense to them, they're great people, but getting up on stage so many times, your jokes aren't going to get better. This is going to get better. So my philosophy is the way I'm navigating comedy is to write more. Focus on your writing. If you don't have a good set, don't get on stage. Sit there in your home alone and write your fucking joke and make it good. Focus, like, for every 10 minutes you're on stage, you should spend 5 hours writing. That's I don't know, because if I write a really good set and I'm really happy with it and I get on stage, I do pretty okay. If I'm like, I'm not sure about these jokes, but I should get on stage so many times, I immediately regret it. So that's why I'm not on every single mic doing every single thing, because I just wish people would focus on their writing. It's like, you have 4 good jokes, write more. You need more content. And so, of course, getting on stage is important. Getting out there and doing stuff is important, but like, write. Even if it's not good, like, write more stuff. Be interesting. You don't even have to be funny. You just have to be interesting. There's tons of people who, like, you know, I'm not laughing, but I'm listening to them. And so that's all you really have to do is get people to listen to you. You don't even have to make them laugh. I had this dream of just doing a whole set and making everyone cry.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
that'd be an interesting set.
So that's my closer is write more, hashtag.
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to do is write more. Everyone, I don't know anything. Don't listen to me. I don't know anything, but I'm here. So, you know, work ethic is what's going to get you anywhere. I believe that.
That's very true. Okay, last question. What advice would you give to anyone who's thinking about starting stand-up?
Do it. Everyone's like, don't do it. No, do it. Like, it feels good. Even if you're, like, who cares if you're not funny? People are going to listen to you. Maybe it's 1 people, maybe it's 10 people. Maybe you won't like it. If you want to do stand-up, stand up. Take a good hour to write something. Think about the saddest things in your life and how you can make them funny, and then get on stage.
That's good. Yeah. You hear that? People just dig deep into your...
Says me. I've been doing comedy for 5 months in total.
Yeah, but you've been doing it, and then that's the thing. That's the whole thing about the podcast. Like, we didn't know anything when we started, and we figured out something that works for us.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, awesome. Thank you for being on the podcast. Thank you so much,
Johnny. It was great getting to know you more.
You too. I'll let my dad know. We can talk more about that offline.
Sweet.
Hopefully, if I keep saying Taylor's name, maybe she'll watch this. I don't know how this works.
Say Taylor Tomlinson 5 times and she'll watch your podcast. But yeah, thank you so much.
No problem. Awesome. Thank you for being here. Thank you for anyone who's watching this.
Thank you if you watched this whole entire fucking thing. Yes. I'll give you $20 if you made it to here. DM me. No, don't do that.
Don't do that. Yes, thank you for watching. If you're listening on Spotify or anything, thank you for listening. Like, subscribe. What else do I tell them to do? See, I'm bad at this part too.
Follow you on Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter, Instagram. Do you have anything to promote? Anything going on?
No, but I'm Lizz Hader on everything. LIZHADER. Whoop whoop. Okay.
There you go. All right. Bye.